Biology of the turtle. The life, history, and ecology of the turtles are very interesting to me because they are evolutionary relics. Their origin can be traced back to the time of dinosaurs. This long history is marked by their ability to adapt to the surroundings. Today, there are about 220 species of turtles all over the world. In the United States alone, there are about 55 species. Turtles are not a very large group when compared to some other animals. For example, there are about 10,000 species of birds, while there are about 5,400 species of mammals. Like turtles, crocodiles are a group of creatures that existed during the time of dinosaurs and continue to live today. But crocodiles and other similar reptiles have many large species. On the other hand, turtles have numerous small species and only few large species. The smallest species is the speckled paddle-leopard tortoise of South Africa, and the largest species is the leatherback sea turtle. Turtles, tortoises, and terrapins are separated in their classification by their different habitats. Sea turtles are obviously those that live in the sea. The terrapins live in fresh water and tortoises live on land. All turtles breathe air and lay eggs. Most species of turtles lay eggs in the sand and leave the eggs to hatch on their own. However, the giant South American river turtle, which is the only species in its group, delivers the babies in the mouth. The mother cares for the babies and protects them from potential dangers. Egg predators, such as raccoons, will destroy the eggs starting from the top of the nest. To prevent that, the female turtle digs a hole 6 inches deep and lays eggs in the hole. The female will then fill the hole with dirt, concealing the eggs. This is the way that the eggs will be completely safe from the predators. There is a chicken turtle named for its red and orange striped legs. Looks very much like a turtle when it walks because its legs go forward. But the chicken turtle can run very fast. The eastern long-necked turtles have a long neck that they use for putting the mouth on the bottom of the ponds. Their shells are black with some spots. These are some of the interesting facts I have learned so far about turtles that live in the United States. It's wonderful to know that in many national wildlife refuges and forests, we can still see some of these amazing creatures and even sometimes find their cool basking spots. Evolutionary adaptations of turtles. Millions of years of evolution have shaped turtles into fascinating organisms that have changed very little over time. The adaptation that makes so many turtles good for surviving in dry environments is their extraordinary kidney. This organ is capable of reabsorbing water efficiently, and turtles living in deserts will produce very little urine. This allows them to retain as much water as possible, and to keep the urine they do produce as concentrated as possible. Most turtles have a cloaca. All turtles lay their eggs on land, and the sex of the hatchlings is determined by the temperature at which the eggs are incubated. The scales of a turtle are composed of the same material that makes up birds' feathers. It is the only reptile with this characteristic. The number of species of turtles is really a matter of definition. Some people and organizations recognize close to 300 species, and some others, like the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, recognize about 230 species. Turtle bone is very similar to other vertebrates, and every turtle has a shell of some sort. However, the earliest turtle ancestors had a partial shell and teeth. When complete shells and tiny, toothless heads first appeared in the fossil record around 210 million years ago, they indicated the presence of more turtles. The development of these unique turtle traits was a key to the successful survival of young turtles. Always a fragile part of the life cycle, for example, as they matured and grew larger. Genes that are turned on and off during embryonic and postnatal development control how and when the turtle shell's characteristic bony plates form in the skin. Scientists studying this process have noted that the same genes involved in forming these plates are also associated with human genetic disorders and the evolution of the unique body shape of other animals. The ancient turtle ancestor, like all other reptiles some 290 million years ago, was a cotylosaur, or stem reptile. Such ancestors did not have a shell or other morphological adaptations that we might recognize today as turtle-like. When turtles branched off from other reptiles around 245 million years ago, the backbone had already become a fully bony tube, and ribs had broadened. and were beginning to meet and perhaps even partially enclose the vital organs of the chest. This defensive ribcage became one of the first turtle traits, with early turtles being recognized by broadened ribs that reached the ribcage. Movements in turtles on land are limited to pulling in and out of the expanded ribcage due to the nature of the shells and the fixed bridges, which link the plastron and carapace. All turtles lay their eggs on land, and the sex of the hatchlings is determined by the temperature at which the eggs are incubated. The only thing that comes close to comparing with this environmental influence on sex determination is in crocodilians, where the sex of an individual is also genetically determined in a different way, by the female parent instead of the male parent like in turtles. And temperature also plays a role, though not as pronounced. Back in 1991, renowned paleontologist E. Willis published his conclusion that the stem turtle, the first known ancestral turtle, was Odontochelys africanus from South Africa, and lived some 260 million years ago. Then, in 2008, another famous turtle paleontologist, Dr. Tyler Lyson, presented his theory of the origin of turtles, based on a new fossil turtle find in eastern Germany, which he named Odontochelys semitestacea. Unlike Odontochelys, Odontochelys had a fully developed plastron fully formed underneath and beat expansions of the backbone over the ribcage. These are the two main contenders for the title of the official oldest turtle, and further fossil finds and discoveries of their life and habitats may shed light on which of either is the true winner. Remarkable reproduction and life cycle of turtles. In certain parts of the world, some indigenous turtle species nest together in what is known as a mass nesting aggregation. It is the same distinction that helps the males and females find one another. These are some of the complications that come with being a turtle. First, due to the fact they are cold-blooded, turtles probably live a long time. In fact, it is difficult to study exactly how long some species live for because their lives often exceed human lifetimes. However, it is possible to estimate the age of a turtle by counting annually. This is not an infallible method, as sometimes environmental conditions can cause a growth ring to not develop. However, it is the best technique that turtle biologists have. The process by which male and female turtles come together for mating happens very rapidly. However, it is known that during mating the male passes sperm into the female's body. It is truly remarkable to note that the sperm is stored in a special pouch in the female's body called a bursa. The sperm can be stored here for decades, all the while staying capable of fertilizing an egg. Throughout millions of years of turtle evolution, different species have had to adapt their ways of life accordingly. Lots of eggs are not fertilized. However, it still goes to show what a long and complicated process the advancement from egg to adult turtle it is. When at last the young turtles are ready to be born, they make their way to the surface of the beach. They will know to head towards the brightest horizon, which is exactly what they do to set off on their long journey. However, scientists still do not know what the exact trigger is that tells the baby turtles that it is time to hatch. This is just one of the hotly debated questions that still puzzle biologists around the world when it comes to turtles. So once the mother turtle has laid her eggs and the father turtle has successfully fertilized them, that is that. But on her own, the mother turtle faces a potentially long, complicated, and perilous journey. She begins by making her way back to the water of the ocean. She probably will not lay more eggs for another couple of years. However, there is little time for mother turtles to rest and recover after the exhausting process of swimming and laying eggs. This is because many predators are out there, including crabs, gulls, and raccoons, that see a big turtle as a big food source. Unique physiological features of turtles. Turtles exhibit a range of remarkable physiological features. These features reflect the species' gradual adaptation to diverse ecological conditions over millions of years. First, their characteristic bony shell is a fusion of the turtle's ribcage and backbone, and is an adaptation that no other living vertebrate has. As the turtle's body grows, so does the shell. The bony plates are actually part of the reptile's skeleton and covered in a layer of keratin, the same protein that makes up human hair and nails. Underneath its shell, a turtle has a skeletal system with, on average, 50 bones. though modern turtles have been known to have between 260 bones, with the neck and limbs having the largest number of bones. Unlike most reptiles, turtles have a metabolic rate closer to that of birds, with some, particularly those living in the water, being able to respire through their skin. Marine turtles have the ability to expel excess salt from their body through special tear ducts that are connected to the mouth, ridding the body of salt that they might have swallowed in the seawater. In terms of their senses, turtles typically have good eyesight and an excellent sense of smell, but their hearing is limited to low frequency and vibration. It is thought that they can feel the vibrations of sound through the bones in their lower jaw. However, once land-dwelling tortoises and aquatic turtles retreat into their shells, our knowledge of their senses is limited by what researchers can observe. These shells have nerves, and so provide the turtle with its own sensory system, giving it valuable information about its body and environment. Coupled with the turtle's exceptional memory and learned spatial awareness, this makes the turtle a superlative navigator, capable of covering vast distances when migrating from feeding sites to nesting grounds and back. Conservation efforts for turtle species. For example, there are numerous locations around the world that accept volunteers who want to help out with the care and rehabilitation of sick, injured, or endangered turtles. These groups, often depending on location and the primary species of turtles in the area, can use volunteering in order to raise support for critically important turtle conservation work and research. Such programs may include beach monitoring support in areas with high turtle nesting in water and shoreline cleanup efforts to conserve natural habitats, or a vacation when nesting turtles are inspected as a part of chelonian conservation. Every day, the efforts of the TSA and Turtle Conservation Coalition are showing more and more progress, but there is still an intense need from the community to provide the support and understanding these animals deserve. With great opportunity for education and awareness about the needs of turtles and the ongoing struggles that they face, both on a global level and within local ecosystems, efforts are always being made to increase the presence of turtle conservation programs. One of the biggest issues for turtles, both in the United States and around the world, is the global traffic of turtle black markets. In the United States, for example, it is illegal to donate, trade, or sell turtle species that are protected by federal law and are listed by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. However, this doesn't stop the multitude of illegal activity associated with the trade of these creatures. Even with protections in place, countless numbers of turtles are captured and shipped out of the United States every year. These creatures are then often sold on the black market, making it very difficult for conservationists to track and address the needs of these critically endangered, if not completely extinct, turtle species. Advocacy for stronger penalties and legislative force is often cited in many studies of the effects of turtle black markets and the step-by-step guides of illegal turtle trade. In addition to the work being done in the scientific community, there are also widespread public education projects that are aimed at raising awareness for the conservation needs of turtles. Large organizations, such as the Turtle Conservation Coalition, have tackled numerous initiatives throughout their time and research. The TCC is perhaps best known for their creation of the TSA, or the Turtle Survival Alliance. The TSA is a non-profit corporation that was formed by the TCC in an effort to save and conserve the diverse and vast amount of wild turtle species on a global scale. Conservation efforts for turtles are extremely important for numerous species around the world. There are professionals who specialize in the study of turtles and their ecological needs. Some of these are known as chelonian biologists. They work in laboratories in zoos or for private institutions, conducting research that will help to increase our understanding of these creatures and how to better take care of them in the wild.